I'm going to share a real easy way to elevate your Christmas cards by adding layers. Hey everyone, it's Joy here and welcome to my channel. I am starting with some nested A2 rectangles, and I have die cut from an A2 size piece of cardstock because I want to keep that outside frame, and that outside frame is A2 size on the outside. And so you can make your frame as thick or as thin as you want, and then it's layered on top of Lawn Fawn's Spooky Forest die. And then I'm going to create another layer with Gina K's Poly-Glaze Blanket of Snow sheet here that I'm going to be adding some foil to. So I'm deciding how thick I want that frame to go with the snowflakes on it. So I'm going to use a smaller die to create a thicker frame. Everything is cut from an A2 size, so whatever frame you put inside that A2 size is going to give you the thickness of frame that you want. Now I have my ink machine on. I am using Glimmering Gold Fancy Foils from Gina K along with the Blanket of Snow Poly-Glaze sheet. I'm going to run that through, and then when it comes out we're going to have this beautiful foiled background. So let's take a peek. Isn't that stunning? I love how this looks. So now I'm going to take that smaller rectangle die. I'm going to center that, try to make it as straight as possible. I think it was a little bit crooked, FYI. I think I do everything a little bit crooked these days. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm going to run that through my die cut machine. And as you noticed, I put the tape on the inside of the foil, and you could die cut this first before you even foil it, but I didn't want my tape to take the foil off. Then I'm going to die cut another piece of white cardstock from that same small rectangle, because that's going to be the part where our image is going to go behind all of our layers. So this is essentially the background layer. I am using some leftover pieces that I have from the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Fresh Snow. I just made some cards on a video the other day. They turned out beautiful, but I had some images left. I have 2 images left, but I'm just going to use this one. I love this deer, and so to have this forest with snowflakes and things like that, I just think is perfect with this leftover piece. I placed that rub-on transfer on the background, ran that through my die cut machine, removed the release paper, and I think it looks great. Now I do want to add just this little sentiment, even though I'm going to add other sentiments. It says catching snowflakes. I'm going to trim that up so I can make that fit on this small background here. I didn't measure this, and I apologize for that. I really didn't think about it, but just think about whatever it is that you want in the background, whatever scene, whatever critter, whatever image. If you only wanted a sentiment in the background, this is perfect. This does not only have to work for Christmas, this could work for any type of card, which I think is fantastic. So I'm getting the rest of those sentiments on here, and I do add some snowflakes a little bit later, but now I'm just getting kind of the base images down. So now for that very top frame that we cut first, I'm going to run this through the die cut machine in a 3D embossing folder from Honeybee Stamps. It's the Snowflakes 3D folder, because I want that to have some texture on it. When you are doing layers, it is really good to have the layers different from one another, whether it be through texture or color, pattern paper, whatever you like, but have your layers look different. Size, shape, color, again, all of those things add a variety to the layers, and it really stands out. I am taking a clear glitter brush pen from scrapbook.com, and for the Spooky Forest die, I am just adding this clear glitter. It is really hard to see on this camera, but when you shine it in the light, it's just this gorgeous glitter on the background. It doesn't change the color of the cardstock or anything. You just have this beautiful glitter. So we have the background, which has foil, this has glitter, and then our top layer has that embossing folder. I'm going to adhere that little rectangle to just a really light, thin piece of cardstock, because this already does have a lot of layers. And then I can line up my layers around that, since that's going to be centered in the snowflake background. I am adding 1mm foam adhesive to my tree. I originally had it on the snowflake background, but I changed my mind how I want this to go. Now the tree is my I guess essentially the third layer from the back. So this is going to have 2mm foam adhesive behind my snowflakes, 1mm foam adhesive behind the trees, and then 2mm foam adhesive behind my frame that has the embossed snowflakes on the front. I get all of my foam adhesive strips from scrapbook.com, and I love it because there's so many different sizes. Even in the wider strips, you have wider, thinner, bigger, smaller, you know, depth wise. And so I love that because I love adhesive. So especially something like this, you can get lots of different looks this way. Let's pop this down right here over that piece. That looks good. Then I'm going to come in with that tree again that has the 1mm foam adhesive behind it. And look how you can see the snowflakes behind that. I love it, but that deer is pushed back. I think it's so fantastic. And then again, the 2mm foam adhesive behind our frame that's going to go directly on top. And remember, depending on what you're using, your frames again can be thicker or thinner. You don't even have to do a tree die. You could do this in all frames, all different sizes of widths of frames, and that would be beautiful as well. Okay, now that I got all my pieces on there, I can place this on the front. And of course, I'm going with a lot of white on this. You could do lots of different colors, but I really wanted it to feel very wintry, very snowy for Christmas. This is where I'm going to add a couple more snowflakes on that background. I'm just using that little popsicle stick that comes with your rub-on transfers because I wasn't quite sure if I was going to want snowflakes there or not, so that's why I did not do it at the beginning, but it needs a little something. It was a little too white spaced right there. Okay, then I have Tim Holtz Ideology Christmas 2024 sticker book, and I'm using two sentiments. I have one that says Merry Christmas and the other one says Walking in a Winter Wonderland, which is what I wanted this to feel like. And I'm adding the 1mm foam adhesive behind both of my sentiments, and I'm going to place that at the bottom. So it's going to be the same dimension as the tree layer. So I kind of like that. I didn't want it to be taller than that. Then I'm using some snowflake, glitter snowflake pops of color from scrapbook.com just to add a little something extra on the front, but I didn't want to add a color. But this just gives it a nice little glitter effect on the front, and then we can take a look at this card up close. As you guys can see, this is so easy to put together, but how beautiful is this with all of that dimension, all of the different layers and the different way that you can do it. We have a foiled layer, a die cut tree layer, a frame layer that's embossed. I just think this card turned out beautiful. Look at all that shimmer and shine. Look at the layers. I love that the deer is just pushed in the back. So whatever image you have in the background is just going to be kind of pushed far away. I feel like it almost looks like a picture frame. I just think this turned out so lovely. I am so happy with this. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about layering like this, if you guys like it, if it's something that you want to try. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you feel inspired by this project, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.